I know. I thought my shirt would get in.
Right. Oh, you can shout it out because look, I'll be like, look. But no, definitely. So I'll do the little intro. Look, I'm cracking. And you know I'm putting that in there too. Like she said, look, y'all, look, ask me about my business.
Yeah.
But but I'll do my introduction. So hey y'all, thank you for tuning in for another episode of TalkNSpit. Happy Black History Month. The queen that I have to my left is a phenomenal human being. The agenda that she pushes is something that's extremely inspiring. But before I allow her to introduce herself, I want to say a quick shout out and thank you to our sponsors. So we have Love It Seasoning, Stop, Drop, and Roll, Queen and Collection, and Miss Sneak Marketing sponsoring this episode. But let's get into it. So I would love for you to introduce yourself to the people, tell them who you are, how they can find you, all that great stuff.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me. I am Jessica Winnie. I'm a published poet, a mother of six, a sixth grade teacher, and recently have launched this business called Minnesota Black Box.
And if you haven't heard of Minnesota Black Box, y'all, it is the mecca of Black businesses all in one box. So you don't know what you're going to get. I was upset she launched a sweet box because I'm trying to lose this fupa. And how she going to launch a sweet box? Knowing that there's people like me that can't see no sweets.
Right.
No, yeah. So you guys make sure you tap into her. You can find her on her Facebook at Jessica Winnie. She has her Instagram as MN Black Box. Tap in. Her Gmail is the same as well when it comes to MN Black Box. If you want to just collaborate with her, purchase her box. I know she always has a box running every month. They're always different. They're always great. Definitely do that. And so, Miss Jessica Winnie, thank you so much for being the epitome of what Black excellence means for me, right? And so I gave you my definition off camera on why I chose you because you're a phenomenal human being. But I wanted to know for yourself, what does Black excellence mean to you?
I think that Black excellence means a whole variety of things. When I think of it, I think of serving others comes to mind, how we can collectively uplift each other, work to build community back, and just when things you're going through in life, your chin is up, and being true to yourself. Also, I think when I think of Black excellence, those are the things that come to mind.
And she just described herself, y'all.
Yeah.
The rebuilding the community. And I'm telling y'all, that is inspiring. So you mentioned that you are a mother of six. And I know that you're a very active mother. You have a son that's in college. You have athletes. Like her sons are phenomenal athletes. Her daughter's brilliant. And so knowing that you're a very active mother, how do you balance that being an entrepreneur?
I probably get on their nerves a lot because I'm always asking them, like, do you have a moment? Like, what are you doing? I'll take 10 minutes because at the moment, Minnesota Black Box is a one-woman show for the majority of the time. I have, my nieces and nephews are able to help me out, but my youngest is in sixth grade, and then my oldest son, Ishmael, he's a senior at Ball State University. And so, like you said, I have a 13-year-old, I have a 19-year-old. And so all of these different ages, balancing motherhood at the moment has changed, especially with both of the pandemics that are going on, and just being like any mother, being able to try to manage your business, yet you still need to take care of your home, you still need to take care of your relationships, you need to take care of your children. And so I always say, like, I have a poem from I'm a published author too. So my poetry book is Everything I Am. And one of the lines in one of the poems says, basically, like, I'm no more deserving than the next queen. I'm still yearning for everything. I don't feel like we're all so much different. We all have things going on. Those of us that have businesses, from the moment you wake up, you have to take time to say, what am I going to do for me? Because your business will pull you, and you'll look up in the evening is there, or or you haven't done A, B, and C that you wanted to do. So one thing that helps with me, I usually I start the moment with the morning in meditation, prayer after meditation. Prayer is all or the whole day. Tea, and checking on them. And two, like, kids need to let you know, even though they're kids, like, let us know what you need.
Yep.
Because if you don't tell us, we can ask you, but and even when we do ask, but the times that we're not asking, leaving us a note, sending us a text to say, hey mom, I need this from you.
Yep.
Because otherwise we're already pulled from all these other directions and have so much else that we're dealing with.
That's something huge that you tapped on, is like creating that voice in your children so they can be able to ask and tell you what they need. I think that's the thing that I struggled being a full-time aunt, that I'm
Mm.
like, okay, y'all got food and water and your school is good. I think that's all you need right now. But sometimes children need more. And
Right.
so that's why I was really interested to see how you balance that, because I got five over here and I'm like, woo, this is a lot. And so yeah, that right there, I think creating a voice in the household is essential to helping your children not only thrive, and then you still having the sanity to still thrive as well as what you're doing with your business. So that's huge. And thank you for giving me that advice. I'm gonna do better. Because I'd be like, look, y'all ate, y'all clean, the house is clean. What you want? Like,
Right. And then, like, we think those are just the basic needs. I tease all the time. They're always like, "There's nothing to eat," and I open the fridge, like, I see food, but what they want a meal. They want a 5 course. They want dessert and drink. And it's like, yeah, it
like
is a balancing act. I think teaching too, being in the classroom, like, has helps you at home with management, or just dealing with different personalities.
absolutely. Like, I think that's why God gave me a teaching job in K4, because it allowed me to understand my nephew and my niece, the babies, in a little different light. Because I was like, at first, I'm like, something's wrong with them. Like, mom, we gotta get them checked out. But they're just children, and they're
Right.
growing and they're developing and they're doing all these things. So yeah. So shout out. So all to the moms, guardians, parents. Keep thriving. Make sure you're creating that space for your children to feel safe enough that they can have a voice, because it's really, really needed, especially in this pandemic, of this racial pandemic and the COVID pandemic.
Okay.
Especially when you have children of color, they need to have that place that they feel safe, so they can express how they feel and say their needs. So that's a
And
completely different segue.
yep, and reminding them that they are making it. You know, I think we forget to give, even though as much of the struggles we get through during the day with kids, I don't think we acknowledge enough, like, how well they are doing.
Yep.
Maybe not to our expectations, but just in the general of everything that they're going through right now. Like, you guys are pushing through, because some
Good.
aren't. Just those little moments, I think it's just important, because you could have a week go by and all this stuff, and not once have you just even say, hey, I'm proud of you. Something simple, on a day to day, or like, you did great yesterday. We just forget, because like,
That's
all,
it.
yes.
That
But
is huge. As soon as they get home, I'm gonna tell them that. I think I
I
told
lie sometimes.
Yeah, I told my niece the other day when we were in the car, I said, you know that I'm proud of you. Like,
Yeah,
you're a really good kid. And I
yeah.
think that it kind of changed their whole perspective. Like, okay, thank you. And that's
Right.
right. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I need to do more. So
We
parents, do
forget,
more.
even when they're on your nerves, just still, like, because they need to, or a simple hug, or a little note on a post-it note, just something to, they want to know they're here too.
That's
You know.
good. Thank you so much, Miss Wynn. Listen, thank you for that, because
Yeah.
I needed to hear that. Being a parent and a guardian,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
So I commend all the moms and dads, grandpas, aunts, and uncles, because y'all, I was a little bit above, like, going crazy. And you see,
Right.
I wrote you personally, like,
Right.
look, I'm going through a lot right
Right.
now. Like, I'm going through an adoption, and people, I'm not afraid to tell people I'm going through an adoption right now. I got stuff going on, so it's a lot to balance motherhood
And
and
reminding each other, as women, as community, to say, hey, you're doing good, keep pushing, or, you know what, yesterday's over. Like, I always try to tell them, or even my students, like, you have this new opportunity every day to be better than yesterday in some aspect. Pick
absolutely,
something small,
absolutely.
be better and do better.
Absolutely. And so this is a question a little more personal. Me being a Polar North alum,
Okay.
you dated a very high profile athlete and you had beautiful babies with. My question for you, and the reason why I'm asking you this question, because I've been in a situation that I dated a athlete and I felt like I lost myself. How
Uh,
did you not lose your identity and still be able to flourish and become the woman that you are today?
um, I will have to acknowledge losing my identity first, and getting married young, and like you mentioned, Khaled being who Khaled was, me being who I am and was, and how do you fuse all that together and still keep your shine? And there was definitely moments. I always tell people that, or share, just because it is part of my story, part of who I am, that crawling out of whatever black holes that people are in, whether it is a relationship, whether it is a vice, whether it is trauma that you have experienced, crawling out of that black hole, there's going to be um, crabs pulling at you. There are going to be vices still pulling at you, just wanting you to stay in a space that doesn't allow you to flourish. And so, getting married young, like I mentioned, and being married for a span of 19 years, um, getting divorced in my late 30s, early 40s, and then having to redefine and restructure things that are important to me. What is love? What does love
Okay.
look like in different areas of your life? And we're blessed, me and Khaled, that I tell my children too, that some people get divorced because of um things that have occurred, or
Yep.
they don't love each other anymore. And one thing that is strong about us is that we still do love each other. We didn't get divorced because love wasn't present. And there's just a time in people's life you decide, you get to a point where you have to love yourself more than the relationship.
Man, that is huge. That love yourself more. Oh, tap into that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, well, just we get lost in the day-to-day life with being with men, being with women, whoever that you choose to be with, trying to please, trying to sacrifice and for my story, trying to sacrifice for my family.
Hmm.
My grandparents were married for 67 years before my grandmother passed away. So I remember being at my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary. And so that was something always in my life growing up, like that I wanted to strive for that. And so God has different plans,
Yeah.
and life has different plans. And so you navigate accordingly. And then you decide, you know what? I did lose who I am in all of this. And so being able to be where I'm at now, being able to be better in relationships that I am in, because of things that we go through. And that's the same for anybody. Whatever, I always say, you either are the lesson in relationships or you're going to learn a lesson.
You sure
It's
are.
just, it's the yin and yang of life in a sense.
Hmm.
Mm.
I I appreciated that. I was always curious because the thing is, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I was always me personally. I always was curious because I knew what I experienced, right? And I was trying to find myself within my situation. And I'm happy that I figured it out. Like, I'm 29, so I'm good in a
Mm.
sense. And I'm like, I'm happy I learned now so that I can kind of apply it to different situations as I get older. So thank you so much for sharing that. I truly appreciate you.
I don't mind. There was a time in my life where I couldn't talk about traumatic things that I've been through, and then learning and grieving, or hearing other people's stories. You realize that you're not alone in things that you have gone through, and your story and other stories, you can heal in your own self through the experience of others, if you are open to do so.
Absolutely. 100%. You have to be open. And
You
that's why
have.
I always prep people with all my questions because always want to make sure that everyone's ready in their process to be able to, deal with whatever that or not deal with, to be able to speak on something that they went through. Because I know me, for a long time, it was hard for me to talk about my mental health. I was like, nope, I don't want to talk about it. But I was like, I realized that it could be helpful for someone else. But so as an entrepreneur,
Uh-huh.
I know that there's challenges. So I was curious, what has been some of your biggest challenges on this journey as an entrepreneur?
So this is not the first business for me, but definitely um I feel like my other things were more like side hustles. And so transferring to this is not a side hustle. Minnesota Black Box is and has become very much a part of my day-to-day life.
Right.
Some days more than I would like. And new responsibilities that come along with businesses. You know, if you are trying to be in charge of your own marketing, which right now I, for the most part, do, you know, I am that person. You know, over the holidays, I was able to have, like I said earlier, my nephews and my sons help with delivery. Where when we started in March, I was you know, we only did 25 boxes, so I could handle 25 boxes. It was a Friday, Saturday thing once a month.
Right.
So me and my daughters and my nieces get together, and so as things as the business has grown and developed, the logistics. You know, how do you over the holidays? How do you get out 105 boxes in 3 days with two people? Or, you know, how do you know, for me,
How do you do it? That's the
I
question.
do it. Yes, period.
I'm
Yes.
like 105 boxes. Woo, child. Okay.
And you know, the errors along the way, you know, I feel like, you know, you're a business owner too. And so as we're like growing into this, I'm open, I'm gonna mess up and I'm okay
Right.
with that, you know, and I'm going to not always I'm always going to provide the best service and get the best answers for whoever that I'm dealing with. But you know, you dealing with people. And so what's good for you, a resolution that I might think is a resolution for you might not be the case.
Absolutely.
Yep.
100%.
And so finding that middle ground or being okay. Like I'll take the L for you to be happy. I had to deal with that about 3 different times. It's not a problem. You know, I issued my first refund 2 weeks ago. And I was a little sad about it, but because like dang, not on the money side, but just like, oh, I had to, you know, because I didn't do what I was supposed to do here.
Mhm.
But in turn, she was so satisfied with my service, you know, she'll shop again.
Oh, absolutely.
You
100%.
know, so you be okay with that little loss of money,
Yeah.
knowing you will have a customer that will come back because you did what was right, or in their eyes, you made the situation. So those I would say are a bit of the challenges. And two, you know, how do you get people locked in, invested? You
That
know,
is my biggest challenge.
yeah. Love It Seasoning, I'm vested. Chatese Naturals, I'm vested. And not only because I want to support you, but because I use it. And so once you experience something, why wouldn't you? I don't need to buy Lowry's ever again. I promise you. Not to say it
Come
won't
on, Queen. Listen.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
Because I have another resource, and then knowing like, oh, this is, you know what I'm saying, this is a Black woman that I'm supporting. This is a Black business that I'm supporting. It's a, for me at this point in my life, it's a no-brainer. And I'm slowly and encouraging others, not slowly, but just slowly. When I say slowly, like waiting and being okay for you to awaken up.
Absolutely. And
Be
that's
okay with
huge.
that.
Just being okay. Like, you know what? Eventually you'll be woke.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know what's crazy? Because that was a perfect segue to the next question. I see. I knew you're not giving enough questions prior because she said, "Listen, I'm okay with supporting people." Um, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
No, I had to yell at one of them.
Oh, you're fine. Listen, look, I get it. Okay, people fail to realize. Look, we got the door closed, but there's still people around.
Lights going on. Don't let the background fool you.
Okay, listen, I already know because if he was to see what my camera's set up on, I got some clothes I gotta fold.
Uh-uh. I know. I got boxes under this computer.
Okay, so no one knows.
What?
It looked good. It looked good from here.
Exactly.
But my ring light's sitting on a pile of laundry that I gotta fold, y'all. I'm just gonna be transparent and tell y'all that's what it's sitting on.
Exactly.
But no, and I'm
Yeah.
so happy that you just mentioned what you said. You said something great. Look at your baby behind you.
Helping me trying to plug the charger in.
I knew. I was like, I said, ding. I thought it was mine. So I said, ding. But no, to be honest, listen, I love the organic, the organicness about my podcast because sometimes people like it needs to be this, and this. No, I like that it gives it's a platform that people could just be themselves. I don't
Right.
want the cookie cutter answers that you gonna send to somebody on the radio or on the news. No, like just be yourself. So I get it.
Right.
But trust me, I remember one time my sister walked in when I was recording. I said, if you don't get out while I'm recording, she said, oh, my bad. And the person I was talking to Trey Adams, and he was started cracking up laughing. So I get it. I get it. But what's really good is that you mentioned something that is a perfect segue to this next question that I want to ask you. And so you support everybody, like everybody on your social media. There's more posts about other people's businesses than there is about Minnesota Black Box. So why is pushing that agenda so important to you?
You know, I always give thanks to my grandparents. They provided a space for us to serve. And my grandparents, both sets of my grandparents were missionaries overseas for over 50 years. And so I was around helping my life. I was around or constantly heard service.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, social media is a platform that can be used for great things.
Yep.
And I choose to, if I'm on there, it's like when I'm clicking or whatever I'm typing, like it's 2 and 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You don't have 2 and 3 seconds for someone else. I always wonder, like, do people see this, what I'm posting? And if you see it, what a benefit it would, the instant of push and share, you don't know how that might benefit later on me or someone else. Don't just share my stuff. Like, if you see it, why wouldn't you share it? And so, like, letting go, I don't know, for me, it's just of course you're gonna, you posting your pictures or you see something funny or some music or video or whatever. But I definitely, and just Minnesota Black Box, what it represents, we are a collective. We are centered in Black economics. We are a space that is not for taking and consuming. And
Yep.
so that in its own self, I want to, and we want to provide this safe space for Black businesses. And so if you, it doesn't do me justice to only be about myself, not in that space,
It's like,
because it's not a genuine space all the time. And so, why wouldn't you? We have to be resources for each other. We have to be
true.
network for each other. And the more and more that we can accept that it's bigger than you, you're not going to lose anything. It's not
That's
going
the quote
to
I'm
take
using for your.
away.
It's bigger than you. That's your quote. Keep going. I'm typing your quote.
Okay. It's there is not a I don't know, just for me, if I'm on Instagram, whatever platform you choose to use, and you're on there for 2 hours of the day, at the end of the day, why wouldn't you have spent 15 minutes on someone else? But everybody is not like-minded like that, and that's okay. But as those people continue to find their own light and continue to awaken their own selves, they'll, you know, it comes back to you. That's the other reason. It will come back to you.
You
It's
get it all
right.
back received into you. And I feel, and I've always been curious, right? Me and some of my business partners, which are my best friends, have these conversations. It's like, why do people not support each other? What is the thing that's making them not do it? Because like I know you see it. Because if I was to post say I had an OnlyFans account, remember I made a post like that? I said, y'all check out my OnlyFans. Now that I have y'all attention, I got the most likes I've ever received.
Or dumb shit, or I made up once when they was doing that one page with the girl, some drama page. I was like, your husband's in my DM. Have y'all seen
Yep.
that page?
Your thing, you basically went viral on that post. When I tell you the
Off
comments
some
you had,
nonsense, off some made up, not, it ain't even no page like that. But you're so thirsty. Be thirsty for some Black business.
yep. Be
Be
Oh,
be
I love that. Be thirsty for some Black business. You dropping some quotes.
Man, it's just like, I don't know. And I have always been a supporter of Black business. It's not something that just started for me. Um, and small businesses and shopping locally, it's bigger than I have another poem, it's called The Movement. And I talk about in the movement, like shifting your spending. Like, you have to be okay with driving the extra distance. You have to be okay with paying the extra dollars.
Yes.
You're gonna spend it, and you spending dead presidents that own slaves at that. Why wouldn't you? And I can only
Oh,
be the messenger.
Jessica, you are tapping into some stuff that I've been wanting to say. Like
Yeah.
I've been wanting to say, and I'm like, I'm gonna say it when the time is right. But it honestly, Black History Month is the time to say this. You're gonna be the first episode of the month. You have to be
Mm,
because the message that you're bringing is what's need to be heard. You spend your money anyway. You support all these other people anyway. Why not take the time to pour back into your community and to the kids that look like your kids, to the families that look like your families? It's so confusing to me. I've never understood it. Because of
mm,
me, personally, if I can support my own, and I'm just thinking about small businesses in general. Of
mm,
course, I always want to talk about Black businesses as, it's in entirety. But why
mm.
not support the locals, the people that's in your community, the people that you see all the time? But you rather go out and buy from this person that don't even know you than the person that know your first name. I'm
Right,
confused.
right. Or even too, what we're in. So, but that's a reflection of capitalism. That's a reflection of consumerism. And so, as those spaces continue to get dismantled as well, then more reawakening happens. Starbucks has enough money. Your local coffee shops, they need you.
They pinching pennies to stay afloat, especially in the pandemic. And the coffee's better.
And they're close, and they're probably closer to you. They're in your neighborhood. You might can walk to them. You might be able, after you purchase that coffee, you might be able to find some socks or apparel or something from another local person that you can support. Art, it is a mind shift that has to happen. and
Absolutely.
and also too, like, getting away from labels. You so used to, but you've been brainwashed too. You go into the store and you buy these things because you've seen them all your life,
Yep.
or because you saw the commercial, or because some so and so artist uses it. Whatever that it is,
It ain't
that's
gonna work for you. Living beyond your means. I posted a post 4 years ago. I said, people, people live, people be what did I say? Oh wow, I can't think about really I could think about it. Basically, I'm just gonna paraphrase. I
yeah.
basically said people are spending money that they don't have. It's like you're spending money to fit this image of what society says is supposed to be cool. I remember this is a segue, and then I'll kind of go into our next question. But
Okay.
I saved my money. I said, I'm not going to buy this Louis Vuitton purse since I have like 3 times that amount in my savings account.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
then I got to that point and I was like, why am I buying this purse? I had to ask myself this question. Brianna, why are you buying this purse? Are you buying this purse because you see? I was like, Brianna, you don't even carry your purse. You carry a backpack. I
Hmm.
was confused. I was like, why are you buying this purse? It didn't make any sense. And so I thought about it. I was like, wow, I've been conditioned to believe that when I had this purse, it showed that I was successful.
Hmm.
No, how am I have this purse and then get into my little Jeep? Now, great, a Jeep's a nice car, but I'm just saying, if I'm gonna have this purse, I better have about 6 or 7 of these purses and getting into a Mercedes G Wagon and going into my mansion. I'm not gonna have a purse and I got this little apartment. Why am
Or,
I have a $1,700 purse?
well, yeah, true. Or you work hard for your money and you spend it how you want to, or you, like you said, you saved for that. I always too, had told my students, and I share with people, like, there have been times in my life where, I was on WIC. There was times in my life was out when I was out hustling, or didn't know, like, where that bill was coming from, or Peter Paul, right? You over here
Yeah.
paying this to pay this, all of that. And then there was times in my life where I lived in a six-figure income, and so I could be moving where y'all want to go, what you want to eat, whatever that you wanted, right? But in all of it, I always had what I needed, whether it was a $5 purse, whether it was a $500 purse, whether it was a $5,000 purse. And so, living within your means and being okay and content with what's going on with you. You the
Mhm.
we always, my mother-in-law, college mom, she always, to your own self be true. That rings with me, that
Mhm.
stays with me.
So,
I share it
mm,
often because at the end of the day, in the morning, at the end of the night, it's you in the mirror. It's your light that should
it's
be
you.
should be kind of increasing. It's you. And so,
Oh wow, that I love that. I so appreciate you. I appreciate just your voice. That was phenomenal. And I can't wait for people to tune in because they need all that wisdom. And so now that we know that you have the Minnesota Black Box, what
Mhm.
inspired that? I know that you kind of said that, that you supporting that's in you, right? Like service. But what inspired you to say, you know what, I'm gonna contact different black businesses and put it in a box and promote it? What was like what inspired that?
So honestly, Mother's Day was our first box. And so, I have my baking on the side too. So I have Wonderland Treats where I just bake. My grandmother taught me how to bake. And so over the pen, when we were all quarantined that first time, I was like, oh, I'm a bake. Made a nice little,
Yeah.
side hustle money doing that. And then Mother's Day came, and I remember I have a mentor, Tasha Harris. Her daughter has Kobe Cole candles.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. But she always been a mentor to me. I remember emailing her out the blue, like, I'm gonna do a black box with Minnesota products, and I want to find the email just to see like what the date was. Um,
Right.
and so, I used to sell Avon, I used to sell Tupperware, I used to do Mother's Day baskets with those products.
Yeah.
And so we did the Mother's Day, and it was successful. Whether it was successful because it was black products or Mother's Day you're looking
Yeah.
for something, we did the 25. And then I was like, okay, well, let's do June. So Juneteenth was the name of the box for June. Found 5 to 7 more businesses. Hit some people up that I know, like, hey, what black businesses do you use? What's your go-tos?
Yeah.
And so, and another thing I have to say is, there's a subscription box called Ujama Box that I um, had a subscription to maybe 3 or 4 years ago. They stopped. They had the same box, Black businesses. They're still around now. They did stop for a while, and so getting their products and being part of their subscription, I feel like that was a light in my when I got to be in my own, because I saw what they were doing. I'm getting this box every month full of all types of different household
Good stuff.
products from, and they had more of a national presence, so companies from all over. And so those are the two things, and just wanting to be like, what, I've always wanted to like have a black boutique. And
Mm.
so with
Oh, no,
all,
you will. Listen, if that's what you want, put that out there. That's
yeah,
yours.
yeah. And so I think that mixture of those two things is kind of what birthed Minnesota Black Box, definitely. And we have grown, the holidays. I have been able to network with some strangers who just looked out and, was able to get on the news, got the Star and Tribune, like all these
Yep.
things just started unfolding out of nowhere. And it was, I'm a put it to, or attach it to what I gave out. It came back.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, what you put out into the world,
Yeah,
it comes back to you. And a
it's
lot of times I think people don't understand that. Now, a lot of us, we don't do it for that. I don't do what I do. I didn't create this platform to receive anything. I just
right.
wanted to find a space to allow people to have a voice and also to give my audience someone to listen to. If
Mhm.
income comes from that, that's phenomenal. But if it
Right.
allows me to do this and serve in this capacity that I know that God put me in this position, I'm gonna
Yeah.
continue to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I get it 100%. What you put out comes in. And I loved it. When I seen it, I was like, oh, she got the news. I was like, yes, because your mission was so needed because you were the first that I seen. And I've been in Minnesota for a really long time, 29 years, that I seen that supported our people the way that you have. And I thank you so much for even giving me as a small business owner the opportunity to have my product in someone's hand that I would have never met if it wasn't for you. So I thank you so much, Queen. I
You're more
really
than
do.
welcome. It's a easy equation for me. And part of our, yes, Minnesota Black Box is a business. Don't get it wrong. But at the same time, we are vested in financially supporting other businesses. And to date, we probably have been able to support over 100 Minnesota small Black
Come
businesses.
on. Yep.
I'm face, but it doesn't happen without small business owners like yourself. I could go through a whole list of names of people that have donated products, that have volunteered their time. And so like if I'm going to be the messenger, I'm cool with that. I have to acknowledge though that it is not just me that makes it a success. It is every business that worked with Minnesota Black Box to put us on. It's every person that told somebody about Minnesota Black Box. It's the purchases, the people that gifted things. It is all of that. And so um, I definitely feel that I'm a vessel for this work, and I am blessed to be able to, I'm cool with spending my money with other people. I'm cool with that. I'm cool
Absolutely.
with, I'm committed to it, you know. And so as this continues, and as we all I tell people all the time when they message me, I don't want to end up there alone. We're going to all go there together.
Together, like, that everyone wants to talk about the crab in the barrel mentality. I said,
Mhm.
if the crabs realize that one can hang on and they all can hang on and they can pull each other out,
Uh-huh.
that's what I see.
Yep.
And I know that I know that education is the way that I want to do it. You're a
Yeah.
vessel in your realm. And so I appreciate it. I really do. And so knowing that, Minnesota Black Box is only getting better, what are some goals that you have for 2021?
For 2021, I would say I have a few things in the works. So we're not a subscription. And
I
so
was gonna ask because I'm waiting to see that.
yep. So we're not a subscription. We did launch a quarterly candle subscription.
Mhm.
So we'll see how that grows or develops. If there's only 5 people, then cool. Like
Yeah,
it's fine. Like I'm with it because that's 5 more people. And so the having a subscription is definitely one of the goals. Another goal I would say for me personally is to get to hire some people, and not
okay.
just have, I appreciate all the volunteers. I know those people will continue volunteering. They don't come help to get paid, but being able to officially have some employees or be in a space where, you're generating enough where you're able to create um, some economic liberation for others
Yeah.
is definitely important too. And then I'm working on Virginia Black Box. And so
Ooh,
yeah.
because
So I
what's crazy? I was waiting. I said I wanted to drop that gem to you. I was like, all right. I said, all right, Miss Winnie.
yeah.
When we gonna start hitting some other states up, boo?
Yeah. We
And
already from time to time will feature, we call it sister state. And so we featured a product from a sister in Maryland, a sister in Texas, a sister out from California, Blissful Therapies, her company. And so now I found a candle maker out in Virginia that's going to be in the candle box, and we're emailing back and forth, and she's like, "What about a Virginia box?" And I was like, "Give me the names, like let's do." So we working on it. I don't really know when, spring, maybe March or April, but yeah, there's definitely enough businesses. Black business
oh,
is booming.
absolutely. Use
Black
and
business is
use
growing.
Clubhouse. If you're not on Clubhouse yet, use that as a resource. I hear about so many businesses every time I'm on there. Now I
Yeah.
haven't been on there in a week. I take breaks, but
Okay.
it's a great
I'm not on there. I still have an Android.
way. Let me take a sip of my. I'm only drinking
Right.
this
We
because
both
I
we
know
both sip on that one.
I said I'm gonna sip on this one.
I don't need, you know what? I'm 44 years old. I have But listen, this be my excuse. Like my phone is for calling and and texting and taking pictures. Like that's what I use my phone for. So like I don't even, yeah.
I get it. Okay, so Clubhouse, please
You
carry
know,
us
I'd rather
loud
be in the
Androids.
right. I'd rather be in the streets in a sense, like where's the face to face?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
No,
And
I say, yep, there's money on the internet and that the gig economy and all these different spaces. I have a mentor, he always reminds me, like, do not forget about the money in the streets. And
oh, that's good because I
it's
need.
the
That's why I need
truth.
employees because I forget about the streets all the time.
And just talking to people, I Shaniqua did my shout out, look, did our business cards. And so I saw my business cards on the table, and I'm saying to myself, that's 500 people that you need to be, like, you should be talking about 2021 goals, like by March or April, you need to have reordered some.
I like that, to be reordering business cards. It's a point that
Yeah,
you have given out your business cards so much. I love that. You know what? I
and
love
having a conversation, not just posting. Wherever you spend money, you go out to dinner, you get a drink, whatever it is, you should be leaving your card. We went out to dinner last night. I gave the waitress my card because not only because I'm spending money and I'm tipping you, but you need to know who I am. You need to know what I do. And how will you otherwise?
because what your shirt say? Ask me about my business, okay?
Ask me about it.
I had to throw that in there because every time I go outside, somebody's like, Brianna, I need to get another one because I only got one sweater. I wear it all the time. I said, so what business do you have? It starts a conversation.
And then there goes your card. I got the white hoodie. Why did I get the white?
You know what you can do though?
It looks so cute on the pictures.
You know what you should do for
You
white
know
hoodies?
you can't wear white.
I'm gonna tell you what you do.
Mm,
All the white hoodies I ever had, I tie-dyed them. So once they start getting a little dirty,
okay.
I tie-dyed them. So I dyed them so it's like it makes it look a little cooler, and you ain't got to worry about the white dirty. I would never
Oh,
do that.
coffee dripple, the coffee drizzle down. I was like,
Yep. So boom, you could cover up that coffee drizzle. Go
right,
ahead and figure out what you want to do and tie-dye it.
right.
That's a gem for y'all. So this is my final question for you, which I listen, this was a phenomenal interview. But what advice? I hear a lot of times, I have a lot of friends who are mothers, right? And so me being a parent as well, not a biological parent, what
Still,
advice would you give to mothers who aspire to be entrepreneurs, but they just feel like they don't have enough time or the resources to do so?
I would probably say first to the advice I would give to mothers struggling or even thinking about, I got this great idea. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, number one, and go talk to another mother who's already doing it.
Yep.
Because if you can find someone who can be a resource for you, and then I say, the day is long, right? So I always say this, do you have 15 minutes to give to whatever that it is? If you said, okay, I got this idea, or if you're brainstorming or you're going to go do research on whatever that you want to start, take 15 minutes. You have to. It's the time, like the time is yours to use it. And if you don't use it, it will just fade away and it'll be 2 months from now and next year.
Absolutely.
And you still will be sitting in that space of, oh, I have this dream or I have this idea. Make it into fruition. Like what are you, you have to invest in yourself, number one, and not even just financially. You have to invest in yourself and you have to be okay with failure. Because if it don't work, you tried it. You're not supposed to be afraid of no. That's another thing my grandmother always taught us. I will ask people anything. I'm not afraid to hear no.
Yep.
I'm not, because you might say yes. Or you might say no, but what do you think about this? Like, it starts the conversation. You cannot be afraid or have fear or doubts in it. Came to you for a reason. It's on your mind for a reason.
I needed that. Thank you.
Keep
I needed
pushing,
that. Keep
keep
going.
pushing.
I'm listening.
No, but keep pushing. And like motherhood, find your support. Not only did I get married at 19, but I had my first child when I was 22. And I always wanted a big family. I continued having children every 2 years. So all my kids are 2 years apart.
Oh, wow.
It's a little different now when they were 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like it was different. I had to be a different mother to them. But even now, as they're getting older, my youngest is 11, my oldest is 22. Like, I still need to I'm still a helping mother, but how you mother changes.
Yep.
Because my 22-year-old doesn't have the same needs as my 13-year-old. Yep. My daughters don't have the same needs. My daughter Anaya, she's about to graduate this year from high school. So and so she has a lot of different needs than my sixth grader. Like, you talking about applying for college, you driving, like all these different things. And so, but getting back to the business, just don't reinvent the wheel. Find resources, pray on it. We say that I don't just throw that around. Like I said earlier, if it came to you, it's for a reason. So, how can you start planning and preparing? How can you start saving? Putting $10 up, not going to order no pizza till you got this can full of whatever that you take and say, okay, I can go get my LLC. Okay,
Yep.
I can start with $150 in product and flip that, get my money back, reinvest in my own self. Stop spending money on things. Stop spending on money on things that you do not need, that are not going to benefit you as a mother or your family. It doesn't and your
Absolutely.
kids. These kids is around here. They're home, number one. Finding your passion and finding their passions, and everybody, and at the same time, don't get me wrong, business is not for everybody.
It is not.
It's not. And
It's not
having
for
a
weak.
product is not having a business, or having a hustle is not having a business. So you have to and don't not have your hustles. Nothing wrong with that.
Not knocking it, but your hustle's not a
No,
business.
no. And if it's, I mean, now you don't get me wrong either. You can hustle for your business, but it's just like, that's one thing I have. I'll say one of the not even a downfall, but learning moments with Minnesota Black Box is, oh, you have a product. You don't have a business. And having conversations, and I'm not the oracle or the guru of business. I'm learning and everything else, but I've had some courageous conversations with business owners on, I can't put this in a box like this. Because when that box gets opened, that client, consumer, guest is engaging with your product for the first time.
For the first time.
And it's a unique experience. We always say it's like, it's not just a white box sitting back there. Like, it's magic inside of there.
Okay, it's golden stuff.
And when you open it, those, your business card being up on a board, and your business card being, someone's reading it, they're going to put it somewhere when they think like, oh, because we do business card with a boost. So we put business cards in as well. And so when I need a contractor, guess what? I got so-and-so in my drawer. When I need a painter, oh, guess what? I got so-and-so. I need a cake. I need
I got so-and-so.
I need, whatever that it is. I need facial products. Oh, I use da 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 da. Don't bring me things that I can't put in the box. And that's it.
Hey, listen, y'all, don't bring her nothing she can't put in the box.
Presentation. This presentation is everything. It's everything. I even had to learn myself, like, one of the boxes, I baked something from Wonderland Treats. I did a cake jar. I didn't put nothing on it. In my mind, oh, people know about my jars. Lady emailed me back like, don't ever put nothing in here without no labels, and tell everybody else that didn't have labels on their stuff too. Never even dawned.
She didn't know what was in it.
No,
right? No idea.
Nothing.
And that's the thing. That's the crazy part. It's like, when you transition it from being like a product, side hustle, passion, to a business, the business is the package. Like, what does it look like? How are you presenting it? The organization, the promptness, like customer service, all those different things. So that's huge. That is huge.
And I'm learning, and I'm okay with the bumps along the way.
Me
and
too.
I'm thankful to the people that trusted me. I'm thankful for the growth. I'm thankful for the errors along my way, because it's gonna make the business better and me better. And that's not to say it won't happen again.
Oh yeah, it's always it's like this. This is how businesses are, because you
ebb and flow.
It's like this. It's like this. It's never steady. It's like, woo, okay. It's always like that. And so that advice that you gave touched me, because it allowed me to get my stuff together and provide some space for myself and put some time to like work on things. I'm a person that's doing entirely too much.
Mm-hmm.
To have 2 product-based businesses and a service as a podcast, I'm crazy. I know. It's okay. I'm crazy.
All right. You're going to keep doing it and keep touching others and keep manifesting it. And everything's going to keep growing. It has to.
I appreciate you so much. But that's all I have. Is there any last shout outs to all your babies and loved ones and stuff?
No, not really.
Listen, if you don't, she posts her babies frequently. She is a beautiful soul. You guys, if you ever want to get in contact with Miss Jessica Winnie for her Minnesota Black Box, it is mnblackbox@gmail.com. You can contact her there. You can find her on Instagram as Minnesota Black Box.
Yep, Instagram and Facebook are both Minnesota Black Box. And then the website is www.minnesotablackbox.com. If you know of a business or a vendor that you would like to refer, if you have any questions, we're always we're there out in the
She's
internet world.
there, okay?
We're
She's
there.
there. But no, thank you so much for coming on, Queen. You
Of course.
guys, also, I'm gonna shout out to our sponsors again: Stop, Drop, and Roll, Miss Neek Marketing, Love It Seasoning, and Queening Collection. You guys, if you are interested in becoming a sponsor, you can email me at talkandspitwithbree@gmail.com. I will put that in the description box. But always remember, you guys, peace, love, happiness, and success. And I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you.